This is a reality variety show, and all participants are celebrities who keep their private lives extremely secret. The director team told us that among the 4 couples here, only one is not a real couple. The winning condition is to successfully identify the so-called fake couple at the end of the game. Looking at the person standing opposite me, my heart is in turmoil. How to naturally pretend to be a couple with an ex, waiting online, urgent. My name is Guo Meng, a low-tier obscure celebrity. My specialty is roasting fans, especially those who send cheesy love lines, earning me the title of the #1 romance allergy. My favorite thing is paparazzi stalking. Just as I was about to transition into a comedic entertainer, my agent waved her hand and sent me to a dating show to reshape my image. At first, I refused with both hands and feet, but she said it was mainly brain games with romance as a side, so I agreed. Only after arriving did I learn that the so-called brain game was to find the fake couple among 4 real couples. This is fraud, outright fraud, but my team didn't care about my thoughts, dropped me off, and drove away. Looking at the 3 female stars standing beside me, I am the most inconspicuous. The most famous among them is actress Guo Cai, whose relationship with popular actor Fei Yang has trended several times, dubbed the sweetest 520. Thinking that my competitor is such a formidable enemy, my heart feels weak, and I can't even figure out how to greet the male guest. As a native of Tianjin, I thought I could use my advantage and start with a crosstalk performance. So on the first night at the show's hotel, I stayed up all night listening to skits. In the end, I didn't learn the skit, but I got a lot of forehead wrinkles from laughing. The next day it rained, and the director team decided to use this opportunity for the first intimate contact between male and female guests. So they only gave the greeter 4 umbrellas, which were ridiculously small. The first male guest to arrive was singer Yang Huafeng, whose partner was Lei Songxia, who had been rumored to be with him. Seeing her long dress, he scooped her up in a princess carry, while Lei Songxia held the umbrella, carefully shielding them both. The others joked that they were good at it, but I got goosebumps. No way, what if the male guest tries to carry me like that and can't lift me? Thinking of this, I started calculating the penalty for breaking the contract. My guest was the last to arrive. Seeing the other 2 pairs each had their own style, I told myself that today is the day for transformation. You can do it. Then I turned around and saw the person getting out of the car, my ex-boyfriend. Min Xixiao frowned at the light rain. He never liked rain, but the moment he saw me, his brow relaxed, revealing a smile that could charm thousands of girls. Our greeter walked up to us, handed us the umbrella, and prepared to lead us to the activity venue. Looking at the umbrella so small it would inevitably cause physical contact, I smiled politely. "Miss, you take it." Xixiao and I like getting wet in the rain. Min Xixiao and I exchanged glances, and I could even see the familiar helplessness in his eyes. Yes, beauty, our first date was rainy. What first date? I thought, it was first talk. Met Min Xixiao in college. Same class, I with girls, he with guys, barely spoke. To talk, I took friend's advice, brought huge 2-person umbrella. If he forgot, we'd squeeze under mine, if he brought, I'd leave mine to squeeze under his. Seeing he had his, I left mine in desk, stopped him downstairs faking worry. "Sorry, no umbrella." "Share," he stammered, left in class. I followed him up. He couldn't find it. I pulled out mine, then his classmate returned with his. "Aren't you supposed to pretend no umbrella to share with Guo Meng? Now you want it, can't stand you." We 3 stared. Finally each held giant umbrella for 2, becoming most distant strangers in crowd. No romantic pink bubbles, just awkward farce similar to our unexpected reunion. Hostess saw us both refusing umbrella, so she used it. In hall, she alone was dry. Director explained rules. Essence of show is to spread sweetness. But hidden cameras ran in unknown corners, our every move live-streamed. Title: 4 pairs of rumored couples pretend real lovers. Who will have flaws? Who will turn fake to real? Ranking of most real CP changes. Others discussed for being cute off camera. For me, they said my stay-away aura isn't persona but innate. Center hall had long table with steaming dishes. As newcomers, director let us taste local food first. We four sat. Guo Cai tugged Fei Yang, "Honey, feed me." Fei Yang dotingly fed her desired dish into her mouth. Bai Hua and Ouyang Yu shared drink with heart straw, heads almost touching. Yang Huafeng put disliked food into Lei Songxiao's bowl. Lei showed doting face. I was to show girlish side, but tongue touched food. I gave up that thought. Really delicious cooked food with sesame sauce in mouth was just awesome. So I buried my head and devoured the food, completely ignoring Min Xixiao beside me. "Stop eating, your faraway agent is going to scold you." Seeing me pick up another small bowl and pile it with food, Min Xixiao finally couldn't help but remind me, snatching the dish from my hand like a tiger grabbing its prey. "Leave the rest to me, you're not allowed to eat anymore." But he only took one bite before coughing, reaching over to take water from me. I quickly grabbed a napkin from the table, wiped off the lipstick stain on the straw, and handed it to him. After a few sips, he recovered and complained, "Didn't I tell you to eat bland food? How come after a while, you've gone heavier on spices?" This complaint slipped out habitually, but it suddenly stung me. I didn't answer him, leaving the atmosphere a bit awkward. "What's going on with you two, having a tiff?" Bai Hua noticed our oddness and teased us. I then realized the others were still sweetly interacting, while we had both put down our chopsticks. The director later announced the audience's scores, telling us that those with low scores might be eliminated early. Seeing his suggestive expression, I resolved not to continue like this with Min Xixiao. So that night, I specifically prepared props to let the audience see the sweet side between Min Xixiao and me. Couples shared a room. Seeing Min Xixiao about to come out after his shower, I took out the prepared electric mouse, placed it under a bowl. Then I screamed, "Xixiao, there's a mouse." I thought he'd come out gallantly, scoop me up, and coolly kill the mouse. But things weren't as I imagined. He came out a bit flustered, looking around. "Where is it?" "It's under this bowl," I covered it. Pretending to be scared, I suddenly let go, remotely controlling the mouse to scurry around, and he then stepped on the bowl. "Kill it, what's the use of stepping on the bowl?" Disgust was written all over his face, as if he was about to jump onto the bed any moment. "What now?" "I just showered." Hearing his tone on the verge of breaking down, yet still looking ready to face death, I couldn't help but want to laugh. "Guo Meng, come over and hold it down with your hand. I'll get a book and kill it." "Okay, good luck." I immediately swapped with him, covered the bowl, and made the mouse struggle more fiercely. "Xixiao, hurry up, it's so big, I think I see its tail." Hearing my description, Min Xixiao covered his chest to suppress nausea, even making a cross. Then he picked up a book, walked next to me, and when I lifted the bowl, he hit it several times. Seeing the mouse still darting toward him, he dropped the book in a shriek and jumped directly onto a nearby stool. Looking at the abstract toy and me laughing uncontrollably beside him, his terrified expression relaxed, and he looked at me helplessly. "Are you bored or what?" "Min Xixiao, you're killing me, ha 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 ha." He got down from the stool, put the toy mouse on the table, and directly shoved me, who was already howling with laughter, onto the bed. I looked up at him, at that face flustered and then somewhat exasperated, just like before, easygoing and easy to appease. The reason we broke up wasn't him, it was me. He leaned in to kiss me, but I reached out and covered his mouth. The cameras are still watching. I was reminding him, and also reminding myself, no matter how beautiful the past was, we could never go back. The next day, the game was blind object identification. The director team specifically emphasized that there were real animals and had prepared emergency doctors, telling us not to take any chances. Yang Huafeng still expected the guys to handle everything, as usual, but Lei Songxiao refused for the first time. "How can you not contribute at all? I agreed to carry you bridal style before, I agreed to eat your leftovers. Why should it always be me this time?" The two bickered over it, eventually even arguing. Lei Songxia thought Yang Huafeng was domineering and unreasonable, while Yang Huafeng thought Lei Songxia was a man and should naturally do these things. Look at them, Guo Cai said, hugging Fei Yang. You wouldn't argue with me over this, would you? Fei Yang's expression was a bit odd, but he still replied gently, of course, leave it to me. The director then asked if we had decided. In the end, the participants for the object identification were me, Fei Yang, and Ouyang Yu. The remaining slots were given up because the two were arguing. Finally, Fei Yang, due to short contact time, could only give a vague description. Ouyang Yu, having touched a gecko first, refused to touch anything else. I not only identified the snake and loach but even begged the show crew to give me one, which was bluntly rejected. On the third day, our show's buzz peaked because the director had previewed the content, a game of guessing names from photos. One person guesses, the other takes the punishment. Male guests guessed female celebrities, female guests guessed male celebrities. The winner got a free trip to a local tourist attraction. The previous day's argument between the Maple Rain CP had already generated huge traffic, and this game kept pushing the live audience into the tens of thousands. Knowing I'm terrible at recognizing faces, I let Min Xixiao answer while I sat on the sidelines to take the punishment. Yang Huafeng and Bai Hua were both good, but Min Xixiao played the best, already far ahead of the others. Fei Yang was in a tough spot, he could barely name any female celebrities. Seeing him stammer and ask for help again, Guo Cai, whose makeup was already a mess, couldn't hold back. Sorry, director, pause for a moment. As she spoke, the director immediately waved his hand, signaling all cameramen to stop. Then Guo Cai shoved the staff member aside, walked up to Fei Yang, and slapped him hard across the face. Are you sick? Are you blind? Is it fun for me to keep falling in the water? Then she turned to the director, and you, I said I don't want to go in the water. Can't you understand human words? Who the hell asked you to arrange this part? Her roar was massive, and the entire site fell silent. The director said timidly, sorry, mainly when I discussed it with you at first, you said you could accept anything. I'm not participating. I'm quitting. Fei Yang covered his face and was about to leave, but Guo Cai grabbed him. How dare you? Fei Yang shook her off. Guo Cai, I've told you many times, the first time was just a casting couch deal. We've never been anything from start to finish, can you let me go already? Fei Yang had skyrocketed to fame overnight, and the industry had heard a bit about his involvement in such deals. But they had always acted lovey-dovey, so we assumed it was mutual. Now it seemed the love was probably bought with money. Guo Cai's eyes were red, and after Fei Yang's outburst, she burst into tears. I made you famous, why can't you like me? Then she rushed out, and Fei Yang followed, whether to chase her or quit filming, no one knew. The director looked at the remaining people with a headache. Let's call that round their win, you all head back for now. I'll go talk to Miss Guo. I wiped the water off my face, looking at the scoreboard far ahead of them, feeling a bit uneasy. So they're that fake couple? Bai Hua, still focused on the game, asked curiously. Do we still keep filming? You're dumb, Yang Huafeng replied. Obviously they're fighting. It must have been real at first. Yang Huafeng had taken over the conversation, seemingly still upset with Lei Songxia from yesterday. Min Xixiao walked over to me, saw me drenched from the hit, and quickly wrapped a towel around me. It's okay, when the show ends, I'll bring you back to play. My negative emotions were almost imperceptible, but he still noticed and comforted me immediately. The towel rubbed through my hair, Min Xixiao's movements gentle, afraid of hurting me. The livestream audience erupted. Wasn't Guo Cai always known as sweet and cute? Surprised she's such a diva in real life. I can't stand her forcing someone to be her fake partner, disgusting or what? She touched animals, and now she fell in water. Guo Meng, for real, I'm crying. Because of this, the show's entire schedule was thrown off. I had a slight fever from falling in the water tonight. Min Xixiao made me soak in a hot bath and also prepared brown sugar ginger tea. Seeing how skilled he was, I grinned foolishly. A big guy like you, why are you so good at making this stuff? Because someone has a weak body, and those few days each month are like surviving a calamity. He blew on it, then shoved it into my mouth. Seeing me still listless after drinking it, he turned off the main light and switched on the bedside lamp. A puppy hand shadow appeared on the wall, its mouth opening and closing. There, the puppy ate the bad stuff. Guo Meng will get better soon. I rolled my eyes and turned the light back on. How childish are you? I taught you that ages ago. You've got nerve saying that. When I used to be mad, you'd use this trick on me every day. Min Xixiao sat by my bed with a smirk, looking as if he was there to settle a score. He was right, this trick was usually my go-to with him. My relationship with Min Xixiao wasn't like other couples. Normally, I was the more straight-laced one, while he was the one who loved all things romantic. Every wedding anniversary, he'd prepare a mountain of things, while I'd not only forget completely but even mess up his surprises by working overtime. When I saw him sulking alone at his computer, I'd just turn off the lights and coax him like a puppy. That simple move always made him forgive me, except for the time we broke up. That day, he planned to propose to me. I was negotiating a deal with the director, drank until my mind was foggy, and completely forgot what we'd agreed on. The next morning, I saw he'd sent me 20 messages and called me 15 times. 5 p.m., where are you? I'm already waiting for you. 7 p.m., I'm about to propose to you, can you hurry up? Your phone's not going through. 8 p.m., please. 9 p.m., Guo Meng, something happened to my dad. 9:30 p.m., I'm leaving. Don't come. After that, I tried calling him and messaging every number, only to find I'd been blocked everywhere. I cried and asked my friends for help, hoping someone could reach him. My friend said, Min Xixiao went abroad yesterday. You didn't know? Since then, we've had no contact. Suddenly, I heard the loudspeaker outside. The director was shouting for everyone to come out. What's up? I was just sleeping, we filed out, all looking drowsy. Because something happened this morning, we need to catch up on schedule. The director had staff bring over several cases of alcohol. It's called the Lemonade Challenge, but since it was originally tomorrow's game, we've swapped lemonade for alcohol. We'll do photo editing and reshoots later, so don't worry. Isn't drinking a bit much? What's wrong with it? Lei Songxiao got excited. Drinking's great. Tomorrow, a teacher will come to lead us in dance. Whoever wins today can skip it tomorrow. Among the three of us, I was the only one with no dance background, let alone the kind of hot dance the director showed us. Just the outfits were embarrassing enough. The director brought over the alcohol. Seeing the proof, I immediately grabbed Min Xixiao. I kind of want to learn the dance, just have a few sips for fun, okay? Min Xixiao winked at me. Relax, I know my limits. He knows his limits? Yeah, right. Looking at the empty bottles on the table, Min Xixiao picked up another drink for a refill. Now only he and Lei Songxiao were still drinking. As Lei Songxiao was about to give up and raise his hand to surrender, Ouyang Yu walked over. Brother Lei, I'll drink for you. No way, that's not allowed. I immediately covered their glasses, refusing to let them do it. Why can't you? You said you wanted to dance yourself, and now you're saying no? Bai Hua chimed in smugly from the side. She was the best dancer among us, and now that the other two couples were at odds again, she couldn't wait for Min Xixiao and me to have another fight, so she and Ouyang Yu could seize the chance to rake in some popularity. Ouyang Yu had already downed that glass of wine. They exchanged a glance, and then it was Min Xixiao's turn. Min Xixiao grabbed the glass and gulped it down. After drinking, he covered his mouth, his stomach heaving. But they weren't about to let him off. Ouyang Yu hadn't drunk much to begin with, so another round was no problem for him. In no time, his glass was empty. Min Xixiao refused to admit defeat. He picked up the bottle on the table, hesitated for 2 seconds, and was about to keep pouring. I snatched the bottle away and slammed it hard on the table. We give up. With that, I grabbed Min Xixiao and pulled him away. His body was heavy, and just supporting him took all my strength, but I gritted my teeth and dragged him back to the room. Bai Hua snorted behind us. How boring. He didn't usually drink much, and downing that much in one go made him throw up messily in the bathroom. I quickly got a hot towel to wipe his face, then made him some sugar water. He wouldn't drink it, clinging to me and refusing to let go. I had to strip off his clothes first, then coax him, have some water, it'll help. I miss you so much, Guo Meng, I think about you every day. He held on to me, even more clingy than before, acting spoiled. Normally, I'd push him away, annoyed at how childish he was, but seeing him like this now broke my heart. Does your stomach hurt? Why haven't you come to find me? Do you know, when I was abroad, I always thought about you, wanted to propose to you. And you didn't even call me once. Drunk, he had a petulant edge to him. Even though he was so much taller than me, he rested his head on my shoulder. I'm sorry, Si Xiao, I said, patting his back as tears fell one by one. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have forgotten about us back then, shouldn't have not gone looking for you after you cut off contact unilaterally. He hugged me tighter. It's okay. I came to find you. After saying that, he suddenly let go, lifted his head, and pressed his lips to mine. He'd just drunk strong liquor, and even though it was just a brief touch, it left an unpleasant taste. But when he pulled away, I kissed him again. I didn't care that he'd blocked me, didn't care about his sudden departure. As long as he came back and stayed by my side, I'd hold on to him tightly, so we'd never be apart again. My feverish head suddenly felt much better, and that night, I slept unusually soundly. The next day, I woke up early, washed his clothes, then went to the production team to pick up breakfast and grab some medicine. When I got back, Min Xixiao was already awake, sitting dazed on the bed with messy hair. What's up? If I'd known you were awake, I'd have made you go get breakfast yourself. I set the stuff down, and he turned to look at me. Did I drink too much last night? Yeah, I drank a lot, I said, taking the phone. By the way, is your phone password still my birthday? He mumbled groggily while changing clothes. What are you going to do? Take myself out of your blacklist. You blame me for not calling you, seriously. I sat on the edge of the bed, playing with his phone. The first thing I saw was my ugly photo as the wallpaper. Min Xixiao. Didn't I tell you not to use me as your wallpaper? What's the big deal? He scratched his head. When did I block you? Oh, it must have been my mom. Your mom never agreed to us being together from the start. I removed myself from the blacklist, re-added my number, and changed his wallpaper to something cute. It's okay, I've talked it all out with her. He got off the bed and grabbed my hand. When my dad passed away, she was angry that I proposed to you, so she deleted all your contact info and forced me to go abroad with her. During the time we were apart, I've settled things with her. She won't interfere with our relationship anymore, he said earnestly. And I won't suddenly disappear again. Guo Meng, can we start over? I suddenly remembered that rain before. He walked me to the girls' dorm building, folding up that giant umbrella. Guo Meng, I've liked you for a long time. I want to ask, can you be my girlfriend? Maybe because he was nervous, his hand holding the umbrella trembled nonstop as he spoke. Do you even need to ask? I waved the umbrella in my hand. Wasn't I obvious enough? His expression back then was just as serious and excited as it is now. The next day, we had to prepare for the dance. Except for Yang Huafeng and Lei Songxia, everyone else had to perform in the public show, while the guys had to make a set of dance costumes. The dance moves were very difficult. Guo Cai and Bai Hua had already finished learning and went to discuss costumes with the male guests, while I was still practicing the moves with the teacher. Because I was focused on the dance, I didn't pay much attention to the others. It wasn't until I got on stage that I noticed Bai Hua's costume was clearly just haphazardly cut from men's clothes. Because the outfit was too loose and messy, her movements on stage were sloppy, and a fan in the audience publicly scolded her for not taking it seriously. That day, she had a falling out with young Huafeng, becoming the third couple among us to break up. In the afternoon, the director took us to the local grassland and let us relax there. There are horses, Guo Cai said excitedly. Let's go talk to the locals and see if we can ride one. Be careful, it's very unsafe, Fei Yang quietly reminded from behind. It's fine, isn't there someone watching over them? None of us dared to disobey Guo Cai, so she dragged us all over there. The locals there saw us coming and asked warmly, "Want to ride a horse?" Guo Meng has ridden before, right? Why not let her demonstrate first? Yang Huafeng was clearly a bit scared, instinctively pushing me forward. Since she had already said that, the other girls also chimed in, telling me to go first. I had indeed ridden a horse before, but during that acting scene, I fell straight off the horse. Although I wasn't seriously injured, it left me with a lingering fear. Just go, there are so many of us, what's there to be afraid of? Not wanting to listen to their continued jeering, I shot a reassuring glance at the worried Min Si Xiao, then stepped onto the saddle and climbed up. Master, is she riding correctly? Just as I mounted the horse, Bai Hua suddenly clung on. Nothing wrong, horse riding doesn't have such strict postures. The local's attention was diverted as he conversed with Bai Hua, and she slapped the horse's rump. That horse was no pushover, it broke free from the local and charged straight out. Trying to steal my spotlight, you shameless thing. Bai Hua's final disdainful voice mixed with Yang Huafeng's screams, and I only felt a sudden jolt beneath me as the horse leaped over the fence and flew out. Stop it quickly. Someone's going to get killed, are you crazy? Call the director. The voices behind grew fainter. I was nearly scared out of my wits, clamping my legs tightly around the horse's belly and hugging its neck. The memory of being thrown off the horse last time was still fresh in my mind, let alone the fact that it was now galloping. Not knowing the horse's habits and with my strength gradually giving out, I spotted it slowing down, seized the chance, and jumped off. Without any protective gear, I felt my arms and legs hit the ground with a crunch, and the horse bolted into a mad sprint again. If I had stayed on, I might have been thrown off right then, perhaps even jeopardizing my spine. Hiss, I gasped in pain, unsure where I had been taken. Trying to stand, I found even the slightest movement of my leg excruciating. Resigned, I ensured no secondary damage to my bones and sat in the grass, waiting for someone to find me. I didn't know how long I sat there until I finally saw a figure. Fei Yang. As dusk fell, Fei Yang rushed over the moment he saw me. Are you okay? We were all terrified. Wait, let me contact the director team. Min Si Xiao? Is he okay? Strangely, the first thought that came to mind when being found was his name, worried he might be anxious, in trouble, or cold toward me. In my heart, I always felt I owed him something. He's not okay at all. If we guys hadn't held him back, he might have fought Bai Hua, Fei Yang said, having already contacted the director team. Seeing my anxious expression, he sighed. Such a big star, ready to throw punches, and he even cried when he couldn't find you. Listen, that sounds so foolish. Hearing Fei Yang's description, I suddenly burst out laughing. Guo Meng. Suddenly his voice came from afar. Looking at him, he was exactly as Fei Yang had described, hair disheveled, eyes red and swollen. Are you okay? Does it hurt? Let me see. He didn't dare touch me, nor could he bear to see me sitting on the ground like this, so he just circled around me anxiously. Don't do this again, got it? What if someone caught it on camera? I couldn't help but warn him immediately. The doctor quickly helped me onto the ambulance. As we passed the lobby, a large TV was playing a show, and I suddenly heard my own voice. But I didn't get a chance to see clearly before I was taken to the hospital. The variety show I was on couldn't possibly be airing now, and that line was said after the cameras were already off. Was this a live broadcast? After the doctor finished treating me, my hands and legs were put in casts, making basic living difficult. By the time the doctor helped me into a wheelchair, Min Sixiao had been standing outside for a long time. He wore a mask and glasses to avoid being recognized. I sat in the wheelchair and greeted him. "Sorry, I might trouble you for a while." He stroked my face. "As long as you're okay." "Do you know, when the horse went out of control, I thought I was going to lose you again." "What are you saying? I'm fine now." Later, we lay together on the hospital bed watching the big screen. The live broadcast had been exposed, and now everyone was discussing this entertainment industry romance. Min Sixiao fed me millet porridge while telling me about the hidden cameras they found. "After you got hurt, we asked the director team to return our phones immediately. They hesitated, so we knew something was wrong. A check later confirmed it was suspicious. The replay was showing the part where I was riding. Watching myself being thrown off by the white horse, the local guy panicked and ran behind, frantically calling the horse's name. The comments exploded. How could they go to a place like that? Clearly no safety measures. Someone go save her, this could be fatal. Woo-woo, Guo Meng, I'm about to cry. After Bai Hua made that sarcastic remark, Min Sixiao grabbed her and slapped her across the face. Seeing he was about to hit her again, Ouyang Yu and Lei Songxia quickly stopped him. "If anything happens to her, you'll pay with your life." Min Sixiao looked even crazier than Fei Yang described. If no one had stopped him, I have no doubt he would have beaten Bai Hua to death. Bai Hua's face swelled up immediately, and she cried so much she couldn't speak clearly. Then Min Sixiao stormed off. As he left, I saw him wiping away tears. He followed the direction I was taken, constantly calling my name. "I'm sorry," I said, looking at him, feeling a bit guilty. "It's not your fault." He held my uninjured hand, speaking firmly, word by word. Because our participation in the show was live-streamed, Bai Hua's matter was made public. Due to his bad behavior, he was publicly banned from performing. Fei Yang was finally able to get rid of Guo Cai's control. The two cleared things up. Guo Cai was criticized for the large gap between her image and her usual self, but she was not dejected. Instead, she used the opportunity of being infamous to transform and completely become herself. The disguised appearances of Lei Songxia and Yang Huafeng were also exposed. Their daily differences in views on men and women were fully displayed. In the end, although they did not publicly announce a breakup, they were no longer as high-profile as before. As for me, I became popular in this variety show. My previously labeled bad persona was torn off. Many directors valued the fierceness in my bones and also knew that I could even dump my boyfriend for work, so they felt quite assured cooperating with me. But I never missed a date with Min Sixiao again. Our relationship was made public. He could finally come to my workplace from time to harass me, using his gaze to force those directors who made me work overtime to compromise. My Weibo was no longer only full of funny jokes, instead, it added some scenic and interactive pictures. Once those pictures with a romantic flavor appeared, fans would bombard me, demanding that we get married quickly so they could happily eat candy. I am rebellious by nature. The more at such times, the less I want to get married. I stubbornly postponed the wedding again and again. Min Sixiao teased me, "I've never seen anyone so unwilling to get married." "What? Not afraid I won't want you anymore?" I stuffed fruit into my mouth and said, "I'm not afraid. Because I know you will love me forever."